Hey everyone, I want to just show you one of my projects for the day. If you remember last week, I showed you this pot that I had that was just full of water, and I had you guys trying to guess and diagnose the problem of what was wrong with it. And actually, there was no drainage hole at the bottom, so this whole thing, and you can see it's a great big pot, it filled up with water, and we had some rot on the roots of my petunia here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant a new hanging basket into that pot, and this is the original one, and you can see it's looking pretty tough. So I'm going to bring this, I'm going to transplant, I'm going to put it back into a container or a hanging basket and try to nurse it back to life. But I didn't want it out in my front here, in my front display, looking so bad. So I'm going to put it in the greenhouse and try to nurse it back to life. But you can see there was definitely some damage done. It was just sitting in way too much water, and I didn't notice it until it was, I don't want to say too late, but I think I can nurse it back. So if I know some of you have mentioned that you've had this before, so you can kind of see what that looks like, what the symptoms are, and it gets real spindly on the stems, and the leaves it looks like they're drying out, but actually it was way too wet, and the roots rotted a little bit and then shut off the nutrients and the water to the rest of the plant. So I'm going to bring this in to the greenhouse. I'm going to nurse it back, try to nurse it back to life. And I don't know why I take on these extra little projects, but I'd like to just see if I can do it. And I've seen a lot worse come back to life, and so I'll keep you guys informed and let you know if it worked or not. And hopefully I don't forget it, because the greenhouses are getting to be about 130, 140 degrees this time of year. But anyway, I had an extra hanging basket, so I popped it into these great big containers, and I do have the drain hole in it now, so I'm not worried about it filling back up with water. So what I did was I popped a hanging basket out, popped it in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and fill in. You can see there's a little gap here. I'm going to go ahead and put the good soil and fill in that gap so that I have enough soil. And you can see, like, this one next to it, this one turned out really good. This one did have the drain hole in it, so it turned out really nice. And I'm really kind of mad at myself that I forgot that these great big ones don't have drain holes. So that's when the video last week when I showed you was when I drilled a hole in it and all that water came out. And I bet you there was a good 5 gallons of water sitting in there. So it definitely did some damage to these petunias. These are the Vista super petunias in that bubblegum color, and normally they just perform just fantastic, and you can see how big it is. So I'm kind of mad that it went south so fast, but we had a rain, and I kept watering. I didn't realize it till it was just a little too late, but I'm pretty confident that I can get it back to health, and I'll keep you guys informed. So I'm going to go ahead and get in the greenhouse, get some heat to it. I'm going to go ahead and fertilize it right away. I'm going to put a little extra soil in it, and we're going to nurse it back. So probably every other day I'm going to be fertilizing it just to see. I did this a couple years ago to some hanging baskets that we had for a wedding. I shared that on our blog and had the before and after pictures. So I'm going to take on another little project here and see if we can get it to come back. So we'll talk to you later. See ya.